Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome back to the Glassman's World. I'm Dan the Glassman, and today I figure we're probably just gonna blow some glass, and I'm just gonna talk about some ideas that I have for future glass blowing videos. So it's a 6:45 in the morning here. It's a little bit of an early Saturday morning glass session. I'm usually up all the time, early all the time, every morning without an alarm. I don't know why. I wake up and ready to go. But this morning I kind of delayed and just sat around. Um, Had some nice dabs and chilling and looking at some different videos and things, watching what's going on around the world. Can we set that back there? Here, let's see if I can put this back here without it falling. No, that's not gonna work. Yeah, I'll just put it on the floor. So, how you guys doing? I'm gonna get this video up here so I can read any comments from anyone who possibly comes in this morning. I know it's early, so I'm not expecting many people to be up early with me at all. All right. But we got the chat going. Let me just say hello real quick. I should probably just keep it like that always. All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Glassman's World, live glass blowing and more. That's probably what I should just call it, right? That sounds good to me. All right, you guys. So, um, we got the keyboard ready. I'm gonna get you guys set up over here on the torch. So let's flip over the camera here. Let's see what kind of weather we got today. It looks like clear skies. It's looks kind of grayish right now, but the sun's barely coming up. It doesn't look like there's clouds or any sort of color from clouds and the sunrise. And yeah. All right, so let's get you guys in a nice position here, so you guys can see everything that is going on. And I'll get myself started here. So yesterday, I did a video, I did a live stream talking about how I got started blowing glass back in 1995, and basically like how anyone can get started blowing glass now, and what it took for me to get started, and even like some of the craziest basics you wouldn't even think, like using a welding torch instead of a glass blowing torch and things like that, and actually having it work out for you. Um, so check out that video on how to get started blowing glass, and my whole experience, or how I got started, my experience on getting started back in 1995. It's a pretty thorough video. It covers a lot. It covers a lot of the basic tools that I recommend and that I use personally every day here. And it doesn't go into all the basic tools and all the different things that you can make and all the different stuff, which is what I'm thinking for today that's probably some of the things that I need to figure out. Like, what kind of videos can I make now that can be good follow-ups? So getting started in blowing glass, and my own personal, this is the glass man's world, so I have to give you my own personal experience within it, right? Sharing my world here with you. And then, like, where do we go from there? Now that you know how to get started, then maybe, what we need to do is then talk about, okay, now that you've got all the basics all set up, now I probably have to teach how to set up the torch, how to get your table set up, and those kind of things. Like, everyone can see how it's all set up, but to actually set up a torch, to be able to hook up the hoses properly to the regulators, to the torch itself, making sure that you have them all clamped down, checking for leaks, all the safety that's required in that, making sure that your ventilation is set up properly, that you have adequate enough ventilation, or the best, most pristine ventilation possible. I have decent, adequate ventilation. It could be a lot better though. I know that 100%. I know that. And I'm thinking that I might actually put an extension. I'm thinking I could actually put an extension all the way out to here, keeping it low, and I would still be able to look over the hood and look outside. But then I'd have to put lighting underneath the hood and a few things. But yeah, it would actually make it better if I created an entire hood right here, sealed off the whole area, made sure nothing escaped. That would be the proper way. You could simply just wall off the windows here. So we could talk a lot about different types of setups, how you might set up in your home, in your home studio, home office, in your garage, maybe getting set up with a different studio, completely renting another space, another location or something, you know. So yeah, there's lots of different things, and hold on one second. I just wanna move that real quick. Oh, I guess I can't really move it. Why not? All right. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just thinking in the future. After that whole beginner glass blowing lesson, now I should get into, well, how do you do the setup? How do we set up a torch? How do we set up the hoses? How do we set up a table? This isn't a proper table right here. As you can see, I've got a nice wobble right here, which I'm going to actually build a proper table here very soon. Maybe I'll bring you guys in and you guys can watch me build it live and setting it all up and everything. Um, and it's quite possible that I might just be bringing in a metal framed table. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if I'm going to build a wood table or just get a metal frame table, or I might be able to find a perfect folding table that could just fit here, that I could collapse down to still have a portable studio as well. I like the idea of having a portable studio, and that's another thing. Is like, okay, now that I've taught how to get started in blowing glass, then we have to teach how to sell your glass, how to promote and market yourself. And one of those things that I do is doing live demonstrations in the general public, and being able to showcase my work and my glass, and being able to do live demonstrations is like bringing moths to the flame. If you have a torch set up outside, especially when it's like, dusk, when it starts getting dark, then like literally the moths will come to the flame, but also people will just come to the flame and they will gather. And if people see you in the daytime and they see that you're working with the torch and the flame and they see you melting glass, they will stop and they will watch. Um, I would do so much better as soon as I can get our vehicle running, then I'll be able to get things going for our paradigm a little bit better, and we'll be able to get out more, doing live demonstrations and having the whole entire setup and everything. So very soon, I'm manifesting that that'll get done. You know, it's still kind of cold out right now, so you know it's not the most opportune time to be out right now. So, but very soon, you know, springtime is when we will have a vehicle running again, and we will be able to do more live shows and things like that. So, future videos, future things. You know, I'm thinking we're gonna definitely do a setup video. I'm gonna teach you guys how to get your supplies. So then, where do you go get your glass? Where do you get all your color glass? Where do you get your clear glass? Can you get it shipped to your home? Can you go and pick it up locally? Is there even anywhere in your city, in your state, that sells glass supplies? Or do you have to order everything online and have it all shipped? Um, you know, we'll go over that. We'll go over how you can ship your glass and packing glass and bubble wrapping. You know, I got bubble wrap here that I saved. That's actually got glass in it. But I always save all the bubble wrap from all the packaging that I have. This is a bunch of blue cobalt rod like this here. And so I got a bunch of the half-inch cobalt rod. So we can do a bunch of cobalt water drops, many things. Check this out. This is something I haven't really shared with you. This is always hangs on my torch. It's a little mini djembe. Ain't that beautiful? Look at that. And I turned it. Uh-oh, I don't know what just fell. Is that a piece of yellow? It's always interesting to have things on the table just randomly drop. Like, what was that? Well, let me show you this djembe again. Isn't that cute? Looks like it's got some wood grain in it on the sides. A little hole in the bottom. It's not a hole, it's just color. And then this top skin right here, that actually glows in the dark. Boom, 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 boom. So that always hangs on my torch. Just fun little things. So I'll show you, like, you know, then we'll go into different things on like how you can sculpt different items, how you can make different things. Um, so we'll get into all kinds of different stuff on how to make glass and how to market glass, how you can get your glass into different shops locally, how to wholesale your glass, learning about what your bottom line is, what's the least amount that you want to get paid for your glass. Also, you have to remember when you're first starting, all of your glass is going to take a really long time compared to, like, you know, over time and experience. You will be able to get faster and quicker being able to blow glass. So we're going to get started here. I'm going to get the torch going on. We got the kiln going. Let's check the temperature on it real quick. Alright, it's already up to 500. I already turned it on a little while ago. So it's at 500 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to do a quick little tube. And I may actually step aside for a sec because I cannot find any papes to roll one up real quick. But I guess I can just do this 2-footer real fast. And we can do that later on. So yeah, future videos. I'm thinking about. Um, it would be really cool to talk about like our history here, and then get into doing like interviews with some of the local glass artists here. I've been doing glass for 28 years now. Most people know who I am in the glass scene, or they've heard of me, and I could probably start inviting in people and or going to their studios. That would actually be cool. Is to go on a tour and checking out local glassblowing studios. So there's another video idea, or that's a whole series right there of videos. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Um, what do you guys think? Like, what other videos can I come up with? Of course we're gonna do all the beginning stuff. How to gather glass, how to pull stringers. Making the color glass, pulling them into nice thin points that you can then use for drawing, making lines, pushing into the glass. How do you build it up to where then you can make beautiful jellyfish? Which in studio I charge $300 to learn how to make jellyfish, but I give it all away for free online right here. So if you subscribe, you'll be able to see the video on when I go live. I always live stream. That's the thing, is I don't really put videos out. I just live stream. I figure if I'm working, I might as well just live stream, and I can just keep the conversation going, and just talk, and talk about whatever. So today we're focusing on future glass videos, and so I'm thinking like, yeah, we're gonna be making all kinds of things. We'll focus on all the, like, how to make the latticino, the twisted canes, the ribbon canes, filigrano techniques, different techniques, the differences in glass. Like, why can't I just take any sort of glass and mix it with this glass, or why can't I take broken glass and turn it into something else, or things like that. We'll get into all kinds of different stuff. I'm really enjoying that I'm able to share my experience with glass, and all the different things. Um, I've been blowing glass for 28 years now, and I'm pretty much an expert in this in this field. So I'm a pro. I'm a old school. I'm like one of the godfathers of glass here in Albuquerque. I brought a lot of different new techniques and new styles and new stuff to the community, and showing people new items and things that they could then replicate and make themselves to make money with. Like even perfecting the jellyfish that tiny. I don't know anyone else here in our community of glass, in the local, like, um, immediate community. I don't know anyone who makes a jellyfish as small as I do, and able to put them into pendants like this. So there's a lot of different things that I've brought to the table that I haven't seen others do, and maybe my teacher Brian Bentley, maybe I might have seen him. I taught him how I make my jellyfish, so he probably knows how to make them now that small. We did a collaboration one time. I actually have that collaboration piece somewhere. It's a beautiful piece. I'll share some of that glass. I've made all kinds of different glass throughout the years. I'll share all kinds of different things that I've made. Spinning tops. Spinning tops are fun. See if I can get the spinning top to spin on the little paddle there. Let's try it. Yeah, it won't spin anywhere unless I clear off the section. So yeah, you can make little toys. Started making those in like, what, 98, when my first child was 3 years old. Alright, so we're 20 minutes in. Let's get started. Let's make some stuff. Maybe today I'll just go through some very basic things as we continue talking about future videos. What else? What else should I make? What would you like to see me make in this studio and other videos? Like, going to other people's studios, going to check out, like, there's an individual, Rashawn Jones, from Jones Artwork, and I think now he's got like some other big old uh, syndicate of glass blowers he's put together, and they're taking over the world. They're putting Albuquerque on the map. He started a few years after me, and he's taken the glass to a whole nother level. Like, he's way surpassed all of us as far as how he's taken it globally, worldwide. I give my hat off, take my hat off to Rashawn, and all he's done for the glass blowing community. You know, and we should go and visit him and respectfully, maybe return back his bowl pusher that he lent me a long time ago. And there's all kinds of other glass blowers. I won't be able to go see Brian Bentley because he's not local anymore, but maybe we'll go visit him out of state. I don't know. I'm sure he'd welcome me into his studio, maybe with camera in hand. We could do a little Q&A, live Q&A, things like that. I might be able to go into Lewis Wilson's studio. He's a world-renowned glass artist. He's someone that we met a long time ago. I didn't really get to know him and become like really good friends with him, but there's a lot of people, a lot of friends of mine who know him and could probably just reintroduce us, and I could probably get into studio and do something like that, something cool and live. All right, I'm gonna do a 2-footer real quick. So give me a moment. All right, so let's get started here. Make some glass as we're talking. And is there anyone here now that wants to say hello? Hello, if you're watching. Let me know where you're watching from. Oops. Uh-oh. Gotta be careful with that. This chair apparently hits the stand. Now let me reposition that. Because I liked yous how you was just a moment ago. Alright. Let's see, is that straight again? I can't tell. Okay, we're gonna get it. Alright, that looks good. Alright, we'll try not to hit the stand again. Alright, so I'm gonna get my safety glasses on. And we're gonna rock and roll. So, there's a lot of different ideas that I can do. I could maybe even show you the difference in soft glass, or like what would happen if I put soft glass into a pre-mix flame compared to a surface mix flame, and how the soft glass burns from the pre-mix flame. That's why you can't do soft glass with this torch, but you can with this one. But this is a big torch, so I don't know how you'd work soft glass with such a big torch. Alright. And then there'd be things like, beginning basics, how you get started, how to work the torch, how to make a bigger flame, how to make a smaller, tighter flame, things like that. What flame works best for you? Some individuals need a different sort of flame, a different size flame. Sometimes you need to start smaller with a smaller flame and work your way up. Here, let me shut this down real quick. Since I don't have anything to roll with here on my table, apparently I thought I had it in my pocket, but I must have left it out in the living room. Alright, so we're going to grab a rod here. Some sort of rod. I'm like, where's all the working rods here? Alright, there's one. And then we always use our Norwex here. We got on the torch. So the Norwex OptiCloth I always highly recommend, and I need to make sure that I put that link in the comments. They can sell a bunch of OptiCloths to all the glass artists here. And also, I should probably put links to where you can get any of my glass, you know, like the drop of water, or the glass jellyfish, or the glass hot air balloons and things like that. I should probably have my links in every video so you guys know where to go, and that way you can send messages in the appropriate places. So this right here would be considered how to gather the glass, you know. So you melt the glass, bring it into the flame. So I'd have to, you know, we'd do beginner glass on how to introduce it into the flame real slow, get the tip hot, then slowly bring it in without cracking or shattering the rest of the glass. Especially with colors. Colors are a lot more fragile or more delicate, I guess. And so they are more prone to cracking, popping, chipping, exploding off. Like when I say popping, it's like they explode off from the flame. So this is gathering. So basically we're going to change the shape of this here and make it a little bit more rounder. So you're just going to use your the flame, use the gravity by holding my hand down a little bit lower than the tip here, bringing it down. It allows that glass to start to fall onto itself, and it'll round up a little bit quicker. And then at this point here, you can see that we've pretty much got it back to that same size of rod. And then if we continue, then it will get bigger, and it'll get bigger and bigger. So we went from a pulled, elongated kind of point to now it's a rounded rod, and now we'll gather. And so this would be your first lesson, is how to gather glass. And then you gather glass and you make something like that. And then, you know, we teach you how to make a loop. So then you'd have to learn how to get a puntee and what a puntee is and how to use the puntee, how to work the puntee, making sure the puntee is clean, especially when working with clean, clear glass. You always make sure that your surface is, your tip there is all nice and clean. That way when you attach it, it's a nice clean attachment. And how to then keep that nice and straight, how to attach a puntee without it falling off. Because it's not fused together, it's just barely just like tack welded on. How to be real gentle with the spin, how to do the spin, you know. And even doing like making a video on teaching you how to blow glass without even getting on a torch by using honey. So one of the very first things that I do when I have anyone who says that they want to learn how to blow glass, I say, okay, cool. Like if you really, really are serious about doing this, then this is how, you know, learn how to pull loops. Make a little loop real quick. You know, teach you how to do simple things like that. How to use your reamer to then help aiding with the shaping. So then like utilizing hand tools. to aid in the shaping, using your torch to get everything all melted down nice and thick, how to shape everything, get it to be a proper shape of a teardrop, making sure that everything is all nice and aligned, making this bigger or smaller, however size hole that you want, depending on the cord or the string that you're going to be using. You might be just stringing this up with a little, the tiger tail, the wire that's, real thin. So you just need a little tiny hole for a bead, right? Or you might be using 2 millimeter wax leather cord, so you want something a little bit bigger. Some people want to put their own chains or their own necklaces on things, so you may want to keep it open a little bit. I like to keep mine open to where I can actually have this fit right in there. That is a little small compared. Usually that would fit a little bit better, but that gives me a good grip, so I can hold that without, I can let go. And then we just snap that off. I'll teach you how to snap a puntee. So these are all the simple general basics that we can do on video. How to clean up a puntee mark, which is what we're doing right now. Rounding it up by using the top of the flame, the bottom of the flame. What is the top of the flame? What's the bottom of the flame? What's the side of the flame? The center of the flame. 360 degrees all the way around. Full control motion. And how you can be able to utilize the whole entire flame all the way around in 360 degrees. What's up, what's down, what's the top, what's the bottom, all kinds of different stuff. And how to make a simple water drop for the Drop of Water campaign. Or, well, what we do locally here, the Drop of Water, our cause is that we gift water drops to water protectors from all over the world. We thank them for protecting water, creators' water. I'm all about clean drinking water for all, so I'm a huge advocate for clean drinking water for all. And so I utilize the water drops as a gift to thank those who have gone to different actions, protests, prayer sit-ins, whatever it is, just people who have dedicated their lives to protecting water and ensuring that future generations have clean drinking water as well. And right now, I utilize my artwork in order to share knowledge and to educate the public on what's going on. And I don't know, but many people don't realize that water has become a tradable commodity on the New York Stock Exchange. And you can now buy stock in water, which is now creating price fluctuations and allowing for water prices to increase, so stockholders can earn profits. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going on these days, and if you don't understand things like the water being sold as a tradable commodity, then we've lost our water rights, you guys. Our sovereign water rights. It no longer belongs to the earth and to the people. Now it belongs to stockholders and their say. And until we become actual stockholders, or we can figure out how to, I don't know what you do, get the Supreme Court, Supreme judges to declare, or world judges to declare water as it can't be a tradable commodity. How do you do that? Like, eventually, is the air going to be a tradable commodity? They'll eventually pollute the air enough with this scheme of global warming, this farce of global warming. They'll continue putting all of the carbon and everything that they're saying that we shouldn't be doing, and they'll continue burning everything at their big factories while telling us here at home that we're doing too much. We're burning too much here. By me burning this propane and this oxygen, I'm doing too much. But yet, all these factories that are creating everything else that we need, and all these, all the semi trucks driving back and forth, all the pollution from the vehicles and everything, it is what it is. But people need to understand that that's what's happened with water. And so I utilize the Drop of Water as a way to help talk about water and water rights and water issues and water crisis and everything. And this is a stringer, so eventually we'll make videos on how to pull stringers. And then what do you do with a stringer? So let's continue to doing another thing here. We'll have to melt this down. The same thing, then you start understanding that a lot of our movements are pretty much the same things, but maybe slight variations different. This is a little bit longer. I have to actually heat up more of it to then welcome it all back in and all back together as one, and allowing it to fall back down onto itself. So if I just try to heat up one little portion, only that little portion is going to flow. But if I heat up all of it, it all flows back together a lot quicker, and it becomes one, joins together in the rod, no longer a big old long stringer. And we just melt this all down into itself. And then I'll show you what we're going to do with that stringer. So that'll be another lesson, is just simply doing these things. How you get started in glass, how to use the torch, the nozzles, what's propane, what's oxygen, how much propane and oxygen ratio. Is that way too much oxygen? Is that way too little oxygen or way too much propane? We'll have to go over all those different things. And when is it appropriate to bring up the oxygen, and how much, and how not to boil your glass by bringing up your oxygen too much. So we'll go through all those different videos. But I really like the idea of going to local glass blowers studios and checking out their home studios and their commercial studios, and seeing what they make. That would be really cool. And then talking about their whole history in glass and everything. When did they learn how to pull a stringer and then push it into the center of a clear piece of glass like this, so it hits that solid wall, has nowhere to go, and then just figuring out how to continue to push that thin piece of glass carefully without breaking it, without accidentally hurting yourself with it in some way, and how to get that air out properly without trapping the air in, and how to form a nice little mushroom inside of there. We'll go over all those things, the basics: how to make a mushroom, how to make a spiral, how to make a flower, how to make a flatback, how to make a jellyfish, how to make a simple smoking accessory, a little one-hitter, a little spoon pipe, a bubbler, a chuggler, a chillum, all kinds of different things. So I'll make all these different future videos coming up, but I'd love to hear your ideas on what you'd like to see. Or maybe some new things that I don't make yet that you'd like to see me make, or maybe I've already made them and just we don't make them anymore. Over time, I've learned what sells, what I continuously sell out of. It makes sense to continuously make over and over and over again and mass produce. It seems like those are the big sellers, and that's what is very attractive to people, and they're willing to pay my price on them, and so it makes sense in marketing and promotion to focus on those items, and then I can make videos on how you can do online promotions, how you can do your own videos, how you can live stream like this, making your own videos, how to do live streaming for marketing and just selling, like, making a video on selling a product, focusing on a product, making a commercial ad basically with a product, letting people know, like, follow this link now, if you shop now, in the next 24 hours, or for the first 500 people to order, they receive 25% off, or whatever. Or you let people know, like, hey, I'm going to try to make something new this week, and I'd love to have you come in. So on Friday of next week, we're going to try something amazing. And maybe we'll do that. Actually, next Friday, let's try to remember this. Let's make something amazing next Friday in the morning, maybe around the same exact time. And we'll try something completely new or different that I haven't done in a long time, or something I've never done at all. You know, there's a few things that I want to try again. You know, that's how you get the air out, and then you have a nice, beautiful mushroom inside of there. So that I'll teach you how to make these, and then how do you sell these? You know, you put them on a cord, a string, something that it can hang from a necklace, and then you sell the necklace at wholesale to a shop, or you go and set up local markets. What does it take to get into a local market, into a crafts fair, a farmer's market? How do you become a seasonal vendor where you actually are invited back out every season when they set up for like the growers markets? And then how do you apply as a new vendor so you might be one of them asked over and over again to come back? There's so many different things. How do you get a permit locally to where you could just set up and sell from anywhere, any location, as long as you have permission from the owner to set up in their parking lot or in front of their store, their shop, their storefront, whatever it is? And how do you then sell the glass and give them a percentage, or pay them to be there, or however it works, however you work it? You know, those are the different things that we can then talk about in future videos on how to get started in blowing glass, and not just blowing glass and making the art and being creative behind the torch, but then how do you allow this to become basically to where it feeds itself? How do you make money with your hobby, so then you can afford more supplies so you can continue your hobby? And then does your hobby eventually turn into something more like a career? Is this something that you will then do for the rest of your life, or as a living, or just something on the side of your actual job, day job, and career, and coming home for just an hour or two and playing on the torch and making a few little things, or if you want to just stream live while making things and sharing the things that you make, all these possibilities and future videos to come here at the Glassman's World. Just want to remind you, if you want those notifications, you definitely have to hit that subscribe button. I don't ask people to subscribe, but if you want to get those notifications, you definitely want to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for all the notifications so you don't miss any of these live videos, because I always stream live. I don't post videos, but the live streams will be up for as long as YouTube allows me to keep them up. I may say some things that YouTube doesn't agree with from time to time, and so some of my videos might get shut down. I know that. I trust in that. I believe in that. I know. So yeah, there's different things. How do you go from a water drop to then putting something inside of a water drop, right? Turning it into a mushroom, different things like that. We can do all kinds of basics here. I don't have too much time though today, and I should really, really do a time check because I need to get going here soon. So let's check. It is 7:30, so yeah, actually, I have 1 hour to be gone. So I can probably work here for a little bit longer. I figured we'll probably keep this as a 1 hour video, another 15 minutes. We'll see what I can make in the next 15 minutes. And I don't know, what other videos do you guys think that I should make? And good morning, good evening, good afternoon to those of you who have come in and are watching here live or watching after the live stream has ended. Thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate it. And I hope this is entertaining enough for you. You know, I just do this for my own entertainment purposes, but I love to share. So I'm hoping that what I'm sharing is bringing you some sort of positivity, joy, happiness, education, knowledge, whatever it is. I hope I'm adding something to your world and to your life. You know, and doing simple things like the same thing here, except not. You know, a couple little tweaks. Instead of preheating the tip, I won't preheat it. Instead of heating only the tip here, I'm heating a little bit more than just the tip, going a little bit uh, bigger of a spot of heat, and then making it go in there, but not mushrooming out. You know, it's something different, the same but different, right? And then using other pieces of glass. Oh, that one's got a little nib of something. I'll use a different one here. Using a different piece of glass, another little punty or some sort. You know, just some sort of a material that you can utilize, so then you can do other sorts of manipulation and things to the glass, get it molten, and then being able to manipulate it in ways to where you can bend it, pull it, stretch it, shape it, twist it, whatever it is, to make something else. So it's pretty much the same thing, right, that we just did, except a little different. So I just took that piece of glass, touched it to that while it was molten, spun the molten glass while I held that piece, allowed that to twist up. All it did was it twisted up the color inside of there. I kept it all together in one ball. I could have elongated it. We could make it any shape we want. We could turn this into a marble if we wanted to. You know, marbles are actually really fun. I love making marbles. It's been really fun to have had the opportunity to race in my first marble race. You know, that's another video that will be coming up soon, is the next marble races when they come out again. The Boro Marble League, give a shout out to them once again. Boro Marble League. That was the number 2 installment, so number 3 or number 4, I don't know where number 3 is going to be, but they had the first one in California, the second one was here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I don't know where number 3 will be, and I don't know if I can afford to travel just to go race for some prizes, but you know, it might be fun. But when they come back here to Albuquerque, we will all definitely be there. And I will make sure to either, if it's at the bowling alley again, I will make sure to get onto their Wi-Fi so we have a better signal. Or to get one of those Wi-Fi hotspots. But I don't know if those work if you're inside somewhere that has low signal. So it'd be better to probably jump on their Wi-Fi. So yeah, there's lots of different videos to come, guys. Lots of feature videos on glass blowing and all kinds of different things that I can show you how to make. Just right now, we've already done how to gather the glass, how to pull a stringer, how to make a water drop, how to make a loop, how to push a mushroom inside, how to now make a spiral inside. Some people call them little tornadoes, little tornadoes or spirals inside the glass here. I've shown you how to use the reamer here. So there's all kinds of little tiny lessons or demos that I've done in this video alone that we can go into detail on how I do step-by-step things, just how to round up this alone right here is a lesson in itself. How to make that look so simple and easy. Making sure that it's all nice and thick all the way around, and keeping it pretty consistent every time. And if you want to round it up a little, like, oh, it's a little elongated or whatever, you could go in and you can make it perfectly round if you want. You don't have to. I elongate mine a little bit because then if you have it pulled up some, then that cord's going to be hanging on that part that's pulled up. Like, it gives it a spot to kind of rest in. But that's just me. That's how I make mine. Everyone makes their loops, their pendants, their necklaces all different. Every glassblower has their own style. So I'm just going to show you my style, my techniques. These are things that I basically picked up from my teacher, my guru, glass guru, Brian Bentley, and then taking his beginner knowledge that he shared with me, and then taking that further and learning my own techniques and my own my own tricks of the trade. And then, going back and watching him in his more advanced years and watching a lot of other glassblowers in their advanced years and watching a lot of videos and just watching how others have learned to manipulate and shape glass, And then how you can, instead of making a mushroom, how to then twist up that color and form a cool little spiral or like a tornado or something like that. So there's all kinds of cool things that you can do in the glass. Let's see, how much time do we got? We got 8 minutes. So, showing you all these different ways right now, real quick, within 1 hour, and doing a crash course lesson or demonstration right now. I'm showing you multiple ways on how I make a few different styles here, and then, where do you take these? There's different markets, there's different individuals that'll be interested in the water drops compared to the mushrooms, compared to the spirals, Right now, with the push for the micro dosing and the legalization of psilocybin and things like that, that's associated a lot right now. And for as long as I can remember, I've always sold out of mushrooms. And I've tried to vow to keep these mushrooms, the one color, real simple mushrooms, affordable at only $5. So if you want a $5 mushroom, if you want this one, I can send it to you. But you got to speak up now because it's first come, first serve. But yeah, there's so many different tips, tricks, different things that we can do with glass and how we can shape it. We can turn it into all kinds of different things. If you learn how glass can move and how you can turn it into different things, it's quite amazing, the different things that can be done with glass. We got how much time? Alright, we got 6 minutes. So then, even with the same color, the same stringer we've been using, we've done a clear glass one without the color, we've done a mushroom with the color, we've done a spiral with the color, and I did mention something about a flower, right? Now the flower we'll probably introduce a second color. And we'll introduce a second tool. So we'll bring in the paddle here. Or, you know, we don't have to. Actually, we can just continue using the pad and the reamer only. And you just want to mash that, spin it around to make sure that when you're mashing it pretty centered. And you get yourself a nice little flattened tip right there. And then you take let's see, we'll go with a, I don't know what color this is going to look. More kind of a aquatic carnival or something. So let's go with a blue. Alright, so we're going to go with the blue center. We're just going to put a little tiny dot of blue right in the center there. And if it's not centered, you can always try to move it over to get it as close to center as you can. You know, before it's completely and totally set up, you know, you have a little bit of time and opportunity to move things around if it's not perfectly centered. So I just had to move it a little bit more. It was more going this way than more in the center there, but that looks better now. So then we'll heat that up. That'll now sink in, and that'll be the center of the flower. And then we'll take this here and we'll just go directly from that center. And also learning to adjust your flame, bringing it down, going with the smaller heat. I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 petals around. At first you'd probably learn to do 4, so they're like directly across from each other. Spacing out 5 of them is a little bit more advanced or difficult. So learning how to do 4 would be suggested at first. A 4 petal flower. I like to make them 5 or more sometimes. We just draw that on there. We'll use the pad to kind of help keep those a little widened out there on the tip. And then we'll allow the flame to just melt that all down. All the color is now sinking into the clear glass there. This is actually the back side of the pendant that I'm working here, which we will keep flat. So we just get that all nice and molten till the colors have become one. And we go down and then we'll go flat on the pad. Then we can flatten that. And then we take our punchy and we pull it off here. So I'm going to finish up this video here. We're pretty much going to be done within the hour or a little bit after. And I just want to thank you for joining me here and letting me just kind of brainstorm out loud some ideas that I have. And I hope that you comment below, share some of your ideas with me on what you'd like me to video or maybe go live. You know, one thing I'd love to do is go out to Glass Vegas, where they have a huge glass blowing convention, and all these glass blowers from all over the world come by, and they have live demos all day and everything. I'd love to be able to go there. It would be a lot to film, a lot to stream all day. I'd have to have battery packs. on the phone and with me and charging up and everything. There's so much going on, and then you have the music playing, and so then there could be copyright issues and things like that. But it's really cool to be able to see all these glass blowers and all the different things that they make, and when they're doing live demonstrations like what I'm doing here, and just watching them work. And you know, some of them are able to talk, and some of them have to be quiet and just work. You know, not everyone is able to just sit here and chit chat away all day while making something. A lot of people, you know, especially when they're beginners, they have to really spend time on focus, not burning themselves, not dropping the hot glass or anything, not fumbling. You know, got to be real careful and respect it all the time, always. I've been doing this for so long that, you know, I'm comfortable with being able to sit here and talk, you know, just chit chat. I see there's a little line right here. You know, I'll teach you if you see little blemishes, how you can just easily wipe them away, real quick and easy like that. Get rid of little marks. Sometimes glass will have a seam line, and you'll get a little line in there, and you'll have to get rid of those marks. Sometimes, you know, just glass will have some sort of little things, imperfections in them, and you don't see them until the heat actually gets right upon them, and then you're like, oh, let me get rid of that. You know, especially when you're working with clear glass, you can definitely see like little air bubbles or little impurities and imperfections. And so if you want to keep it all nice and clean. And like I said, we're going to go to about an hour. We are now 62 minutes in, so we're an hour and 2 minutes. But we're going to finish this up for you. I want to show you how I finish it. Using the same rod. You know, I'll teach you how to actually pull a stringer and form it into a loop. You know, cool little tricks of the trade like that. We're just rounding the front right now. And how you keep it flat, how you keep it rounded, the way it looks, all magnified. And then how to heat this up enough to where you can pull from the thicker part here, and being able to attach it and forming a loop on it. And I'm going to try to do this without repositioning the punchy. You got to figure out, okay, where does it look better? I'm going to put that as the top. You figure out how you want this to hang. Just melt that in. Make sure that's all nice and thick. And then I'll just keep that heat on that thick part, and we will slowly pull from the rod that we just made the pendant from. And then we just got to make sure that we pull this nice and straight, and then bring this down. We don't want to really get that heat to the punchy. You know, how do you keep that heat from the punchy? That's another video that we can do, or just parts of tips and tricks, things like that. How you make a loop working from the side like I'm doing here. And how to keep it straight You know, looking at it and making sure as you're looking at it at all angles, you make sure it's all nice and straight as well. And then taking it off, you know, making sure that you can just snap it off like that. As long as you didn't heat it up, heat that punchy, it should snap off real simple and easy. Cleaning up the punchy mark, and that's how you make a flat back flower style. And I don't think I've shown this one too much. I don't make these too often, but I should. These also sell so much. I got so many things that I make, it's hard to make everything. And these are just some of the simplest things that I make, but yet they still sell like hotcakes all the time, all day. And so yeah, that's how you make some real simple glass pendants. 4 different styles right there: clear, mushroom, spiral, and flower. These ones are the ones that I have always kept for pretty minimal price, at about $5 to $10 a piece. And here, let's see, can I zoom in and show you? Might be able to. I don't know how well this zoom works. But yeah, so you can see the clear, the mushroom, the spiral, and the flower there. So cool. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching. I'm gonna go get ready because I got some things that I need to do now. But thank you so much for tuning in and watching, and spending time with me on this Saturday morning. I'm Dan the Glassman. You're watching the Glassman's World. Be sure to comment below and let me know what you think other videos that I should do, and if you think those ideas that I came up with, if those are pretty cool. And other than that, I'll see you guys soon on the next one. Love and blessings. I'm out.